This is a paid Kickstarter preview for Ettenstone. Hello and welcome back to The Gallant Goblin. Today we have a paid Kickstarter preview to share with you. For information about how we handle paid Kickstarter previews, check the video description down below. But right now I'm really happy to share with you this new and innovative new terrain system that's super easy and fun to use. This is called Ettenstone, and what makes it so interesting is that the tiles use self-orienting magnets to attach to each other instead of using little clips like we might be used to. So it's really super quick and fun to sit here and make a dungeon, to put it all together, or to rearrange it, or to take it apart again at the end. And then you can store them very simply because they all just lie flat. When I first got these tiles, which the creator sent to us last week, I just ran into the office that we have here and I sat down on the carpeted floor where Grady was sitting on the computer and I just started putting together a little dungeon. And it's just such an easy little process to do that I was just super impressed. So what I thought we'd do is we'll take this bunch of tiles that we have, put them all together in as many different configurations as we can figure out and see what kind of fun we can have with them. And then we'll also see what they have available on their Kickstarter through stretch goals and other milestones that they hope to meet. So let's take a closer look. A moving picture is worth 1,000 words when it comes to Ettenstone. What I have here is a stack of identical tiles with different textures on each side. A basic pledge of $39 will get you 32 Ettenstone tiles plus some extra goodies. So let's just quickly see what you can do with 32 tiles. As you can see, putting together a quick dungeon room is super quick using these tiles. Everything snaps into place, so you can quickly throw a tile down and move on to the next one. On the Kickstarter, they'll be unlocking stretch goals to add a larger variety of pieces, including half walls and corner pieces. But here, I'm just working with the basic tiles, which are surprisingly versatile. The tiles themselves are injection molded using ABS resin. They feel sturdy, but not so heavy as to be a burden. When your rooms are connected, they're quite easy to slide around the table if you need to reposition. You can pick up a room that's 3x3 or maybe 4x4, but anything larger than that, and you'll probably want to slide a piece of cardboard or heavy cardstock underneath if you want to move your dungeon to another room. Let's add another set of 32 tiles, bringing us to 64 for those of you who haven't had your morning coffee yet. A 64 tile pledge with extra goodies will run you $75. Honestly, the magnets just make these so easy to work with. I've never been able to throw together a functional 3D dungeon so quickly and easily. This is especially useful when you're in the middle of a session and the party makes a turn you didn't necessarily expect, but you still want to give them that full 3D mini-based combat experience. And finally, I had to move to the big gaming table for our last add-on set. Another 32 tiles brings us to 96 Ettenstone tiles. The pledge for 96 tiles is $110. This is enough to create a multi-room dungeon or to really stack up your tiles to create some unique platforms, towers, or tunnels. One way you could take good advantage of these tiles is to have a rolling dungeon build. It takes a ton of money to have enough of any type of dungeon tile to build out a whole dungeon. But with Etten tiles, they're quick enough to rearrange that you could quickly break down a room the players just finished and then quickly build up the next room that they're likely to visit. These tiles are just begging to be painted. So I took a stack of them to my trusty painting table and was able to give them a simple but functional paint job in under an hour. I used Dwarven Forge Picorni Earthstone paint to give some color to some of the random stones, and then dry brush the front and back with their Cavern dry brush paint mixed with a few drops of Picorni School Bus paint. This is the same exact paint job I gave to my Dwarven Forge tiles. As you can see, I think it came out quite well, and you can certainly use these right alongside your Dwarven Forge. If you want the colors to match even more closely, you can prime your Ettenstone pieces with a darker color to make them more closely match the basic unpainted Dwarven Forge color, though the paint did stick to the Etten tiles just fine without priming it at all. Though I believe the final Ettenstone tiles will be a slightly different color than mine were, so be sure to check out the Kickstarter for all those final details. You can also, of course, use Ettenstone in combination with your Warlock tiles from WizKids. The nice thing about all these systems using the same scale is that they're all compatible. They have slightly different styles, but you can dip into each system for their strengths, and then use what's most suitable for your task at hand for each tile system. And sometimes you'll have a dungeon where the dwarves built out some of the caverns and then broke through to an older section that was maybe once used by the mind flayers. So having two different types of terrain helps make that transition more apparent. Another thing to note is that because these tiles are made to be magnetic, you can also use any magnetic dungeon accessories you may have collected from Dwarven Forge or other sources. The self-orienting aspect of the tiles means that positioning of the accessories could be a little bit tricky though. All the various terrain options have their strengths. The primary thing that Ettinstone brings to the table, at least here in the beginning, is the sheer speed at which you can build a battle map on the fly. With Dwarven Forge, you can build a fantastic, beautiful map, but there are so many different pieces that it's almost impossible to throw together a functional Dwarven Forge map on the fly in the middle of a game. You have to build it out carefully ahead of time. With Ettinstone, it's so quick and honestly just fun to put together a map when you need it. Rearrange the pieces as the players move from room to room, and then break it all down into these kind of stacks when you're done for storage when it's all over. And the price is quite good as well. For just over $100, you get enough tiles to build a multi-room dungeon. The creators, Steve and Michael, shared some behind-the-scenes information and pictures with me that I thought I could share with you as well. Steve is a plastics engineer and Michael is a software engineer, and they've been gaming with each other since they were 10 years old. They both have grown children of their own now. They share with us some of the fun builds that they've tried out, including making circular rooms, columns, trap doors, and even ramps, among other things. On the Kickstarter, they have a limited number of early adopter sets that should arrive by the end of the year. Sets beyond that are scheduled for delivery in May 2021. If you have any questions at all about the Ettinstone set or Kickstarter in general, let me know in the comment section down below. They've really come up with something pretty special here, and these are going to have a permanent place next to my gaming table. You can find the Ettinstone Kickstarter at the link in the video description down below. Thank you for watching today. You can always find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For now, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.